folks, I'm Dutch Doll, and it's Monday. I'm sorry. I'm the host of Dutch Doll Discussions. How's everybody doing today? Today we're going to be talking about before that, as usual, we have a word from our sponsors. What are you yelling at? What are you howling at? Hello? We all want to know. Say bye. No, folks, we are not talking about Airwolf. When in fact we're talking about the New York City Police Department's Aviation Unit. The unit in itself consists of 7 helicopters, the first one being the Bell 407 trainer. That's not all, ladies and gentlemen. They also have 4 Bell 429s, and that's strictly dedicated to patrol. And the remaining 2 are Bell 412 water rescue helicopters. They're pretty impressive. All the helicopters sport the new paint job. Personally, I like the old paint job, but you can decide for yourself. That's the old paint job compared to the new one. And that's that same helicopter from 2 different eras, painted in 2 different colors. Which one do you like more? Did you know the aviation unit was founded in 1928? It's the oldest police aviation unit in the world. We even have a helicopter with a 50 cal mounted on it. I never knew that. But after the events of September 11th, they added a gun to a chopper. I didn't have any clues. They also have a Cessna 208 Caravan that they got from a federal grant from FEMA. It's equipped with the radiation detecting equipment, and it just flies around the city constantly. All 3 shifts. It's a pretty cool fact. Before we had helicopters, we had planes. Water planes. Planes that can land on the water. So now we fast forward to about 2006, and my lieutenant volunteered me to go up in one of these helicopters. Great, you're going to put me in a helicopter. I don't like helicopters as it is. I don't like to fucking fly as it is. But you're going to put me in a helicopter. And their reasoning for putting me in the helicopter was to go up and down the parade route. In case something happened, I can get on the radio and call units there faster. And checking the rooftops and stuff like that. So I get to Floyd Benefield on Aviation Road real early that morning. I was a police officer at the time. They hand my life jacket, give me a quick safety briefing, throw me back in this helicopter, and they take off. And the pilot's pretty cocky. I think he was ex-military. And my co-pilot was a female. A great pilot that she was. She wanted to get into a hairy mess later on and still managed to bring the helicopter into one piece. So we're going up and down this parade route. The guy's like, where do you live? Do you want to fly over your house? I'm like, no, let's just stay on the parade route. And he goes, do you ever feel a helicopter bank before? And I'm like, no. So he banks the helicopter. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in the helicopter. We twist and turn. We're about an hour in the air already, right? So we go around Grand Army Plaza, and then I hear, and the guy looks up and he goes, uh-oh. I'm like, what do you mean, uh-oh? Nobody wants to hear uh-oh in a helicopter. What are you doing? What's going on? He's like, we're going to have to land. I'm like, we'll go back to the base. He's like, no, we're going to have to land right here. I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. I'm going to die in a helicopter. This egg beater that's flying over, I'm going to die. So they land the helicopter in Prospect Park and shuts everything down, gets out, checks the engine and whatnot, calls down a support crew. They're all checking out the helicopter, and he's like, all right, we're good to go. Now, we're 10 blocks from the precinct. So I'm like, screw this. I'm not getting back in there. I'd rather go work on patrol than get back in there. So I go start walking away from the helicopter with my life vest on. So there's a cop with a blue shirt on, blue jeans on, life vest on, and I'm walking away because I want no part of this mess anymore. So I start walking back to the precinct. 10 blocks away, no big deal. But you couldn't walk. The sidewalks were that packed. I'm not going back in the helicopter. I'm not going back in the helicopter. So I start walking. So I get about 5 blocks away, and my phone rings. I pick it up, and it was the other cop I was with. Like, you walk away with the vest. I'm like, I'll drop it off for them. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the helicopter. I'm not going back in the helicopter. I will, on my way home, stop at Floyd Bennett Field and drop it off to them. So I'm white as a ghost because I'm scared shitless of this thing. I didn't want to crash and die, but, you know, it is what it is. So I walk all the way back to the precinct. The lieutenant that put me in the helicopter is like, what are you doing here? You have to go back to the helicopter. I'm like, no. Not going to happen. The helicopter just made an emergency landing. He's like, get the fuck out. I'm like, it's in Prospect Park. The helicopter's in Prospect Park. We're going to throw you in a patrol car. We're going to send you back. We'll send you back to Floyd Bennett Field to get your car and bring back to the precinct. I'm like, okay. So on the way to Floyd Bennett Field, we had to take Flatbush all the way down. We stopped in Prospect Park to see if the helicopter was there. It was already gone. Already headed back to the base. Believe it or not, in the RMP, we beat them back to the base. We pull in, and the pilot's smiling from ear to ear. He's like, there really was something wrong with the helicopter. We were in no danger the whole time. I'm like, what? Huh? There was a piece of metal that was in the oil reservoir that hit the connector and the sensor went off. I still don't want to go back up with you guys. You got to go back up with us. Back into the egg beater I go, and back up we go. Now we're not on the parade route. We're flying back and forth on rooftops looking for snipers. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Can this get any worse? Can this sincerely get any worse? I made it through the rest of the day without further event, which I was fine with. That's great. I'm not sure if it's a control issue I have with helicopters, that I'm not the one flying. I'm not sure if it's be scared of falling or dying, maybe. You know, my life is not pathetic. I kind of like living it, so, you know, I want to hold on to it right now. And we do our tour. We go back to Floyd Bennett Field. Helicopter's down. Those pilots come off shift. Next to the pilots come on. The helicopter goes back to the hangar for checkover. The next helicopter's brought out. But I'm already in my car. My life vest off. They've left the thing. And I'm in the car headed back home. Because I want nothing to do with things falling from the sky. Ever. Aside from me kissing asphalt up when we landed, pulling grass up and smelling it, and thanking God I'm alive, the rest of the tour goes on uneventful. I twist, and I turn. A couple weeks later, the same helicopter I was in crashes. With not the guy pilot, the female pilot. But it really crashed in the water. I mean, I have a picture of it right here. It hits the water, the pontoon devices come out, keeps the helicopter afloat. Everybody was fine on the chopper, so that being said, it ends like it ends. But the helicopters are used for a lot of things in the PD. A lot of things. The patrol helicopters are fitted with FLIR, forward-looking infrared systems. So when you have a perp running around and you can't find him in the dark because the aviation patrols 24/7. They're out. It rains, they're out. It snows, they're out. It's dark, they're out. They're always out. Cop needs help. You get on the radio, they always come out. So at night when it's a little bit cooler, it's a little bit easier for them to find the perps for us. I remember getting on the radio in evening aviation, and they were up. They were up. They flew over. They had the FLIR. They actually walked us right to the guy. I mean, go forward about 5 more steps, turn to your right, do the 3 steps, Reach down, perp at your feet. And they were right. Boom, he was right there. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. That's how good the equipment is. But then we use the helicopters for other things. We use the helicopters for not only patrol work, but for life-saving things. You know, if somebody needs to be transported, that they could transport them with a water rescue helicopter to another hospital, another state if they had to. I know they were transporting medication at one time. It was a leapfrog. Guys flew to New York. Guys from New York flew to the next place to get medication to a hospital. They do life flights all the time. And one of the other things they do is the funeral details. And it's sad. Whether it be the New York City Police Department, Department of Corrections, or the FDNY, the NYPD Aviation Unit goes out to represent. They fly the missing man formation. They come in real low. You can feel the wash coming off the blades. Actually get your heart moving pretty good when they come in, because you can hear that motor and that sound the blades make as you break the sound barrier. That woo 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 woo, like the old used to make. Really sends a chill up and down your back. And like I said, it's not only for the NYPD we do this. We also do it for the FDNY. It's another way for the New York City Police Department to contribute to a fallen comrade in a line of duty death. I think it's really cool. The police department dresses up the helicopter with the red stripe across. Like when we lose a guy, the morning band's in blue, their morning band's in red. It really shows camaraderie between the two departments. So that last video I did about the rivalries, yes, there was a rivalry, but September 11th showed we can work together. It's a newfound respect we have towards each other, and this is something we do for them, and it makes everybody feel good. It makes us feel like one. It makes the city feel whole. And I'm grateful that the aviation unit does do that for them. It's a great thing to do. Now, not only does looking for bad guys, transporting medical, life-saving materials, or rescuing people out at sea, these helicopters do perform another function too. Whenever there's a missing person, and the person's been gone for more than 48 hours, especially a kid, they go and check the rooftops for us. You know, they go from roof to roof to roof using the FLIR or the midnight sun, which is what they call the flashlight at the end, and the 1,000,000-watt fucking light they use to search. Look, check the top of the roof to make sure there isn't a kid not up there. Yeah, I mean, it does make patrol a little bit easier when they're overhead, especially if you're following a car that you can't keep up with, or you don't want to go that fast. You can peel off. You can shut the lights off and peel off. Have the helicopter come over, follow the car, and tells you where the car is parked and where the perps got out of the car and what building they went into. If they went into a building, or if they were in the backyards in a foot pursuit or something like that, the helicopter is practically invaluable for us. Now, after 9/11, we have a helicopter armed with a 50 cal gun. Ray Kelly, Commissioner Kelly, made sure he brought that up when he did a Good Day New York with his son interviewing him. He said we have the capabilities to take down the 747. I didn't believe it, but apparently it's true. Because I didn't think you could arm civilian police helicopters. I could be wrong. Pretty sure you can't. But after 9/11, I think all the rules changed as it is anyway. So, what if it came down to get hit in the Trade Center again, and losing thousands of people, or shooting down or attempting to shoot down an airplane, and only losing a few hundred, they're going to value the building with the 1,000-something people in it, trying to not have, World Trade Center 2 going on. Even the capabilities of the aviation amaze me too, and I worked in the department for 21 years. Been up in the helicopter twice. Scared the shit out of myself twice. Other detectives were going up in helicopters to get overviews of the cases, so they can plan search warrants, what units going in where, how they're going in, and whatnot. It does make a lot of sense. Notice the fire department does not have their own aviation unit. They have a marine unit, like we have a marine unit, the harbor unit, but they don't have aviation. I checked. I called aviation to make sure. Private ambulance companies, private hospitals may have aviation to do life flight, but more times than 10, they'll count on the NYPD to do that for them. Not that the police commissioners use the helicopters that much, but when you go up to the Detectives Endowment Association's gala they have up in Villa Roma, I'm pretty sure he travels by helicopter back and forth from there because it's like a 3-hour fucking drive to get up there, you know. And the commissioner can't take a day off of work. He's the police commissioner 24/7. Just like when you're on the job, you carry your gun 24/7 because you're off duty, but you're never really off duty. After I retired, I went back down to aviation to get the tourist tour they give. I took a couple cadets from Valley Forge with me. I learned a lot more than I did when I was on the job, but the capabilities of these helicopters. It's kind of insane what they can do. It really is. They work hand in hand with the Special Operations Division, ESU, K9, Highway. For a city this big, it covers a lot of ground. It makes it easier for everybody. But I just feel bad for the pilots sometimes because, you know, there's aviation on the air. These guys got to get whatever they're doing at the base. They got to get into these choppers. They don't start up like that. It's not like it needs to turn the key on in the car and you go. It takes time, prep work, checklist, whatnot. The air and sea rescue helicopters used a lot during the summer. A hell of a lot. The current's strong out there by Breezy Point in Queens and the Rockaways. They're constantly helping. Our scuba team uses them to get into the water to help people. If it wasn't for the New York City Aviation Unit, I don't think New York City would operate as easily as it does. You heard me say when I did the intro that we only had 7 helicopters, and that last picture I showed was a lot more than 7. Other states, other municipalities, other jurisdictions, time of an officer's death, line of duty, they would send their helicopters down like they do their motorcycles. And the missing man formation is done with the extra helicopters all in tow. I mean, there's helicopters from Jersey, New York State Police helicopters, Rhode Island State Police helicopters, Massachusetts State Police helicopters. I've seen them all. Because I'd gone back to Floyd Benefield after the funeral was over and they were just sitting there. And you sit there when you're standing in formation to give you final salutes to your brother's arms that died. And the motorcycles come by and you hear the rumbling of the motorcycles. You can feel it inside your chest. And they're from all over the place too. Yonkers, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine. I mean, these bikes go by and you can feel your bones jiggling. It's an impressive thing. And the brotherhood, the love there, I was glad I was a part of it for so many years. I was in it to win it. I was part of the best department in the world. And if I had to relive my life all over again, knowing what I know now, I would have taken the same job and done the same things my whole career. Folks, that's it for the day. It's Monday. Good luck in your work week. I wish you nothing but success. I'm Dutch Doyle. These are my discussions.